guys, it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to repot this Beallera. I got this for $10 at Hauserman Orchids. It is about 2 years from blooming, but typically I have good success with Oncidium orchids. This one is the Beallera Patricia McCully Pacific Matriarch. I will put a picture for you so you can see what it looks like. This is a very young orchid and it'll take some time, but I think all will be okay. Let's see what we're working with in here. So it looks like it's in bark, maybe a little sphagnum moss. Okay. So let's see. So not a super extensive root system. Oh, it looks like it has the original plug, which is just fallen off. Looks like the roots in here may have died off, or this may have separated, but this is really important. It's always good to remove the plug because look at how much water it holds. That can suffocate your orchids. So you never want that. So the root system here looks pretty small. Doesn't look horrible. Some of these look a little dry, but whenever I'm repotting little seedlings like this, I tend to leave more roots than not, just because it takes some time to establish. And also if it doesn't have any roots, it's gonna fall over. So I'm happy to stake them up, but we'll see. So it doesn't look awful. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of all of this old medium and then we'll come back to quickly pot this one out. Okay, we're back. I've rinsed the root system out and I've also sprayed it down with hydrogen peroxide in case there were any pests in there, any snails, anything like that. But in taking a look at this orchid, this is the new growth. So this will fatten up into a pseudobulb. So a lot of the new growths will come from this side. Looks like these orchids are the newest, these roots are the newest roots. These are the roots in the back. They might die off since they're older. So these are the older growths. So I'm trying to figure out what I'd like to do. So honestly, these feel firm. These orchids do seem viable. They don't seem dead. This one on top, though, is very dry and desiccated, so I'm going to get rid of that. Let me get rid of that sheet over here. Like to get rid of the old little papery leaves on the sides. It'll help the roots grow a little better. This top root is dead, it's dry. Let's see. It's a tough call when you have a young orchid like this. If you want to get rid of those old roots, definitely this is going to be the future growth. It's going to come from here, but not here. It's going to come from here. These are the new growths. So I'm just trying to think if I want to cut off all of these old roots, but they seem okay. So I think maybe I'll just hold on to them, just be more conservative. And then when I repot this next year, I'm going to cut off all of these old roots and see if they survive. But I do want something to anchor this orchid. If this were more mature, what I typically do is I only keep the roots in the new growths and I cut off everything from the old growths. But again, I don't want this to, be set back in any way. So I am going to wipe this out to the side since there was not much that I cut off. And we're going to use a self-watering container. Again, this is a system that has a little knob that touches a water reservoir. And we're going to use a little bit of sphagnum moss in here. And I made a little mixture of sphagnum moss and bark. We're going to put this on the bottom. And again, we want to keep this very airy. We want to make sure that it's not very packed down, not suffocating this orchid. And we're going to put the orchid in the middle. I had a little bit of sphagnum moss left over from another repotting of my Phalaenopsis, so I want to make sure I use it up. We may need a little bit more. Yeah, I think we're gonna need some more. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more and I'll come back. So this orchid's all set. So it is now in a self-watering container. For comparison, take a look at the pot it was in before. Really tiny pot. So hopefully within this new setup, it'll be set up for success without that little plug. It is supposed to be 2 years from bloom, but I've seen orchids like this bloom much sooner for me, especially Oncidium type orchids. So this should hopefully grow nice and quick for me. The flowers on these are spectacular, which is why I bought it. I do enjoy growing these little seedlings because when they bloom, they're very rewarding. You know, there's nothing like seeing a smaller orchid grow and bloom for you, and you know you did it all on your own. So that's why I love getting these little seedlings. But it'll take a little time to establish, given that the root system isn't very extensive here. But as always, I will keep you guys updated with my monthly updates, and you guys will see this one grow. So thanks again for stopping by, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.